So I see people getting excited about the new Vive headset, the XR Elite, that was announced at CES. This one right here, this headset, absolute garbage. Now I know there's lots of YouTube channels out there that are objective with VR technology and tell you, the spec sheets and what's good about it, what's going on in the industry. I know you're a busy person and you just want a simple answer. Is this headset good? The answer is no. That's all the information you need to know. You're welcome. That's it. Are you still here? Do you want an actual reason why? Alright, we can make it quick. Listen, we'll just go over the history of HTC headsets really fast. So the first headset that HTC made was in 2016. It was the HTC Vive. They made it in collaboration with Valve, and it worked with SteamVR, and it was really one of the first mainstream PC headsets. On its release, it was pretty much the best headset you could have for PC VR. It had room scale tracking and a 90Hz display, which is basically the VR standard now. It first launched at $800, which is expensive. At the time though, there really wasn't anything better. The Oculus Rift came out the same year, but it didn't have full room tracking or even a VR controller. It just came with an Xbox controller. The Vive shipped with this controller, which is kind of weird, but it worked. I mean, it's first gen, it could get better. The only thing weird to me was that the microphone on the Vive sounded like absolute ass. You'd think that HTC would have more experience with that because they made phones, and microphones are usually used on the phones to make calls. So anyways, 2 years later, they came up with a substantial upgrade to the Vive, finally. Being $400 more than the original, the Vive Pro finally came out. It was a generational leap with improved screens, integrated headphones, and I think that's it actually. It still comes with this controller, and the microphone still sounds like garbage. So understandably, some people were like, HTC, why are we paying this much for something that's barely improved over 2 years? And HTC, they listened to their customers, so they said, you know what? Okay, we got it. You want to pay for a supercar? We got you. So they launched the Vive Pro McLaren Edition, which is the exact same headset for the same price, except now it has McLaren on it. Well, wow, HTC, thanks for fixing the microphone. They also made a Vive Pro Revision, which had eye tracking, which is the one I'm using. It's actually really cool because it only works with 4 applications. So a year later, the Valve Index comes out and just destroys HTC in everything. The higher refresh rate, superior controllers, the amazing over-the-ear speakers, and the microphone doesn't suck. Wow! HTC knew they had to make something to stay relevant in the PC VR space, so they made the Vive Cosmos. It was absolutely terrible and so rushed to market that pretty much everybody hated it. But let's go over all the good things it had. So pretty much straight after the Cosmos, they made the Cosmos Elite, which was supposed to be an improvement over the Cosmos. I don't know what the improvement was because the microphone still sounds like ass. So at this point, HTC is desperate. They know they have to do something to stay relevant. They have to go back to their roots, back to what made the Vive good, and then they went all out on the Vive Pro 2. Everything that made the Pro good, but better. The higher resolution, the higher refresh rate, the controller, Wait a minute. Okay, you got me. The Vive Pro 2 is just the Vive with the black shell and a better screen. Okay, fine. But listen though, under some circumstances, the microphone actually does sound better. The circumstance being if you're deaf, because it's exactly the same. But they also wanted to compete with the Quest 2, so they made a standalone device that you don't need a PC with. It's also a lot heavier, cost 3 times as much, and came out a year after the Quest 2. They also brought eye tracking back with these 2 headsets with a twist. The twist being outsourcing it to a third-party company and then just never releasing it. Then there's the Vive Flow, which I don't have anything to talk about because you can't even use it standalone or with a computer. It's just a thing that plugs into your phone. Cool. Now that you're caught up with your HTC lore, this brings us to the Vive XR Elite. I'm not going to look at the spec sheet, and I don't care to look at the spec sheet because it doesn't matter. I expect it to be another vaporware headset that they've been releasing, or at the very best a bad one. My prediction is that it's going to be bad. They're still not going to listen to their customers, and they'll keep releasing garbage headsets because they have to appease their shareholders and pretend like they're actually relevant. Can you really blame HTC though? How are you going to hear any customers with this microphone?